course, you will focus on the internet security. So you'll learn how to prevent, how to detect all the type of attacks. Okay, here is the three key concepts, three security key concepts. The first one is confidentiality. Under here, integrity and availability. What is confidentiality? Confidential. It is confidential. Only the authorized person can access to the file. How you make sure it is confidential? The data, you want to make sure it is confidential. What you will do? You will encrypt the file. What does it mean, encrypt? Encrypt means that you will encrypt the file with a password. Means that like the PDF file, you will set a password. Only the correct person can access to the file, can read the document. This is under confidentiality. You can read the definition from here. Confidentiality means that it will only make available to the authorized individual. So with the individual with the correct password, you can access it. Without the password, you're not able to access it. The term used is encryption. You will encrypt the file. The second key security concept is integrity. So what's integrity? You can sit in front, it's okay. Less than 1 hour lecture, you will not sleep. Don't sit at the back. Faster, come in. So the first key security is confidentiality. I already explained just now. So what is integrity? Integrity means that you want to make sure the data has not been modified. When you're sending out the data, how you make sure the data is original data? You want to make sure that when you're sending out an email or document to a friend, how you make sure that when you're sending out, there's no third party modify the data. How make sure the data is original? You will learn later on. So this is the second key security concept. The third one is availability. What does it mean, availability? Means it's available. What does it mean, available? When a user wants to access to the system, you will make sure that the system is always available to the user. Although the system has been hacked by others, how to make sure the system is still available to others? For example, have you heard the DOS, denial of service? So once the DOS attacks, the system is totally down. How to make sure the system is still available to the user, although it has been attacked by the attacker? So this is the three key security concepts. First one, confidentiality, means that only authorized user can access to the file. Second one is integrity. You want to make sure the data has not been modified by others. The third one is availability. You want to make sure that the system is always available to the user when the user wants to use it. And sit anywhere. Okay, for those who just come in, faster sign in your attendance. Don't email me, say that you forget to sign in your attendance. Okay? Sign in your attendance. Okay, when they are signing, you still remember what is the three key security? Security key? Three security key. First one, confidentiality. Second one, yes. The third one, yes. So the additional concept for this key security concept, the third one, the fourth one is authenticity. Authenticity means that you verify that user are who they say they are. How you verify that? When the user A say that I'm a user, I'm the admin. How you verify that the person is actually an admin? You can use the encryption technique also can. You can combine multiple techniques together. Accountability. What is accountability? Do you know what is log file? Log file. For example, when you access to the server, the activity you have done all will record down. What time you have access to the server, what you have done, what you have modified. All this is under accountability. When you want to trace back, you can refer back to the log file. So this one, when the security breach, there's a level of impact, either the low level, moderate level, or high level. Okay. Computer security challenge, this one I'm not going to focus because we are focused on the introduction to internet security. So for this computer security challenge, what is challenge nowadays? There's a lot of challenges. The first one, because the computer include the software part and hardware part. So you need to think about the security for the hardware and software part. And then there's a lot of different type of attack nowadays. So you need to think about it, what type of attack it may be happens. So you need to come out a mechanism. There's a different type of mechanism you can use. So there's a challenges in this computer security. Any questions so far? I already complete first part. Any question? Have you listened? Have you listened to me? Yes, and good. Don't sleep. Okay, OSI. Have you heard the word OSI before? Have you take the network subject? Okay, OSI, there's a 7 layer in the network. The first layer is the physical, and the upper layer is the application layer. So in every layer, we need to think about it, the type of attack. They will attack under physical layer. What type of attack is under the application layer? So for this part, OSI security architecture, in all the layer, as I say that there's a total 7 layer. All the layer they will list down the type of attack will happen, and the security mechanism that you use to prevent the attacks. And the third one is the security services. Later on, I will explain the security services and also the mechanism. You know attack, right? What is attack? Security attack. What is security attack? It's something that will harm you. Okay? It's an attack. What is mechanism? What is security mechanism? Mechanism is designed to prevent or recover from the attacks. So what's security service? Security service is that enhance the security of data processing system and information transfer. Later on I will explain this. So you can see from here, the bad guy is under the category security attack. And the security services and security mechanism is used to prevent or to detect the attack. When you see the word ITU-TX.800 and also RFC4949, what is this? This is a standard, security standard. What does it mean? Security standard means that they will list down all the security terms and also the definition for all the terms. Yeah, when you see the words, don't panic. ITU-TX.800 800 or RFC 4949, all this is a standard name. It's the same name. So you no need to read about this, the standard definition and so on. What is threat? What is attack? It looks same, right? What is threat? What is attack? Threat will attack you. What is threat? So threat is actually a potential for version of security, which exists when there is a circumstance, severity, action, or event that could breach security and cause harm. So it's not yet attack you. It will maybe will harm to you. Maybe will attack you. Attack is already happened. It's happening. Threat is before happens. This threat is a virus. There's potential harm to your PC, but not yet attack your PC. Attack is already attack to your PC. It's already harm your PC. So in the standard, the attack is classified into two types. One is active attack and one is passive attack. What is the difference between active attack and passive attack? Okay, I give you two scenarios and you let me know which one is active attack, which one is passive attack, okay? The first scenario, there's a thief. This is your house. And the thief just monitor what you're doing in the home. Okay, just monitor. Not do anything. Okay, the second scenario, a thief. Sorry, I use the same scenario for my tutorial and practical class. So second scenario, the thief will go into the house and takes something valuable out. Which one is passive attack? One, yes, correct. Which one is active attack? Number two lah. So what does it mean, passive attack? Passive attack means that the attacker only read the data, not do anything to the system. Means that there's nothing changed to the system. Still the original system and it's still functioning. This is passive attack. Active attack means that they attack the system and they will modify the system or take something valuable for their benefit. Okay, this is the difference between active attack and passive attack. So we read the definition here. Passive attack means that it does not affect the system resources. It only learns or makes use of the information. They just correct the information and not do anything to the information. They just correct the data. So active attack means that the system or the operation of the system will be affected. So this is the difference between active attack and passive attack. Do you know what is eavesdropping? Eavesdropping, they just listen to the information. So this is one of the passive attacks. They just listen to the information, get the information without doing anything. Observe the data, or monitor the network communication. This is example of passive attacks. Okay, they just monitor the data, they just correct the information and not doing anything to the system. This is known as passive attack. So their goal is just obtain information that being transmitted. So here is the example: eavesdropping, traffic analysis, and data intersection. So what's the example of active attacks? What's the example of active attack? You can see from here, the example of active attack is DOS, malicious code, injection, malware, ransomware, and so on. All that is under the active attack. So, can you see the words here?
User interface.
Okay, here are 4 examples for the active attack. The first one is masquerade. What is that? What is masquerade? What is that?
Masquerade.
Is take place when one entity pretends to be a different entity. What does it mean? For example, I'm not the user for the Facebook app, but I use the username and password and log in it and pretend to be the user. This is masquerade. Okay? Pretend to be the entity. You are not the one. Okay? What is replay? What is replay? The first active attack. All this is the active attack. Maybe they pretend to be another person and modify the data or reply to your message. All this is under the active attack. What is replay attack? Replay, use it back again. What things you can use it back again? For example, the login token or the login credential is not belong to you, but you take it and use it again and log into the system. This is known as replay attack. Okay? Capture of data until it is subsequently transmission to produce an unauthorized attack. So number third one is modification of message. So this one you know lah, modify the message. The last one is deny of service. What is deny of service? When I'm the person, I want to attack using the deny of service, what will I do? I will create a lot of traffic. Means that I will create a lot of packets. And I send it to your server or log into your server. At one time, there's a multiple traffic come in, so the traffic is high. The traffic is high, what will happen? Traffic jam. So same to your server is down. So once down, what will happen? User cannot access to the server. So this is known as deny of service. Can you remember? So when midterm or final I ask you, can you give an example of active attack? Do you know what's active attack? So all this is the, you need to know lah. So far, any question? I already complete 2 parts. Any question? Okay, just now I have mentioned the security services and security mechanism. All this is to prevent the attacks. Okay, so from here the definition for the X.800 and RFC 4949, both this is the standard. In the standard, they will list down the term, security term, and also the definition. So for this X.800, they mention that security services is classified into authentication, access control, data confidentiality, data integrity, and non-repudiation. What is authentication? What is authentication? When you say you are the person A, how I prove that you are the person A? When you say you are person A and you come to sit for the exam, how I prove that you are the person A? I will check your ID and so on, right? So in this case, how I prove in the system, how I prove that you are the person A? I will use, maybe I can use multiple mechanisms. One of the mechanism can use is the encryption. Once you key in the correct password and username, you are the person A. You can combine multiple mechanisms together. Okay? Because sometimes you say you have the correct password, but actually you get the password from the others. So how I prove that? So you can use multiple ways. One of the techniques is encryption. Second, what is access control? What is access control? Control the access. What does it mean? What does it mean? Control the access.
Prevent the
For the system, I control who able to access to the server A, who able to server B. How I access, how I control it? Because every staff, there's a staff ID. So I can set it, what you can done in the system, and who can access it, who not able to access it. This is under access control. What you can done, what you can do, what you cannot do. This is under access control. What is data confidentiality? The data is confidential. How you keep the data? How you protect the data? You can also use the encryption techniques. Data integrity. I have explained the integrity, right? What does it mean, integrity? Data integrity, what does it mean? You have to make sure that data is not modified by others. How you make sure that? So you're going to learn after that, there's a hash code. Every document, there's a code. So once you modify the word inside, the code will be changed. In the practical class, you will learn. All the doc file, all the PDF file, there's a hash code. Once you modify, you add a word or a question mark, the code will be changed immediately. So I know the document has been changed by you or not. The document is original or not. Non-repudiation, what does it mean? When you are the sender, you send out the document. I say that you are the sender, but you say that you are not the sender. How I'm going to prove that? So there's a signature. Means that before you send out the document, I will ask you to sign on the document. So you can use the signature. You can prove that the sender is the sender and the receiver is the receiver. That cannot say that I'm not the sender, I'm not the receiver. Okay? So you must think about it. Any problem here? Service, security services. Here are 5: authentication, access control, data confidentiality, data integrity, and non-repudiation. For this course, all is theory. So need remember. So here I'm not going to explain about this authentication, access control, data confidentiality. All is listed in this standard. The term used and also the definition. It seems like what I explained just now. What is authentication? I saw that. I'm not going to read out. Here is also the repeat things, the authentication. And the access control, you can limit and control the access to the whole system and application via the communication link. This is access control, you access who able to access it, who are not allowed to access the system. Data confidentiality is the protection of the transmitted data from the passive attack. So when the data sending out through the internet, how you protect data? All this is under data confidentiality. All this is definition. So it's same like what I explained just now. Data integrity, you want to make sure the data is not modified, reordered, or recreated by the attacker. How make sure the data integrity? So example I give is a hash code. You'll learn in other chapter also. Okay. So non-repudiation, you can use the signature. This non-repudiation is to prevent either the sender or the receiver from denying a transmitted message. So you are the sender, you're always the sender. So how I prove that? There's a signature. When you sign on that, there's a proof you are the sender or you are the receiver. You cannot deny that. So what is availability? Availability means that the service is always available to the user once the user wants to use it. Okay? So the definition here, the resources being accessible and usable upon demand by the authorized system entity. So this is the security mechanism and the services. Once you want to have the authentication or the integrity, what mechanism that you can use? For example, digital signature, access control, integrity. Okay. So network security, as I explained just now, what is network security? Any data that's transferred through the internet, you must protect the data. Okay? So this is network security. So you can see from here, sender send to receiver, all the data is secure. It's under the tunnel here. So any data transfer, you must make sure it is secure. There's a no third party here to modify your data or get your data. So this is the explanation for this diagram. It's only list down there's a receiver and sender and the data is transferred. So I'm not going to read out. So what is network access security model? Can you see the guard here? What's the gatekeeper do here? Standing in front of the door. What this guy doing? Yeah, you can see there's a human or the software. If the human is hacker, what will happen? This gatekeeper will block this hacker enter the information system. This is the network access security model. Or the software, it is as a virus or worm. This gatekeeper will block it to access to the information system. So this one is explaining this diagram. So the threat is classified into two types. One is the information access threat, another one is the service threat. So information access threat, this is modify the data, intercept or modify the data on behalf of the user who should not have access to the data. So this one is on the information access, on the data, modify the data. Another one is on the service threat. Inhibit the use by the legitimate user, prevent the services accessed by the user. So this one standard, you no need to read. The standard is come from where, all this no need. The question will not ask you what is this standard and so on. So for this part, what is important? The three key security concepts. You need to know what is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then, what is So the service category classified into 5 types. You know what is authentication, what is access control, what is data confidentiality, integrity, and non-incubation. So this is all for chapter 1.
Oh yeah.
Any question?
Yeah.
Any question? Yes.
来，有种话要继续。对。那继续。OK。我要继续。那就继续。When you can. Yeah, 1 second.